Hi, I'm Jennie. I'm from Wisconsin. This is my 7th visit down here to Back Bay. Um, this is the first visit, however, that I am bringing back literally a piece of Biloxi. We always tease that when we come down here that we always take something with us, and it's usually in our heart, and it's relationships and those things. But this particular visit, I'm actually bringing back little Biloxi. And Biloxi is this little puppy's name that I am going to be bringing back home. And the story that unfolds is in all of my visits that I come down here, I'm an animal person. I live on a farm. I have sheep with my family. We also have chickens. We have cats and dogs, or one dog, I should say, one dog, but now 2. And so I'm always in tune to, the animals. And the clients sometimes here will have pets, and I look at that and say they need each other, and that's okay. That relationship and love is something that is very strong between them, and it does well for both of them. But I usually have that, something pulls me back. I'm never worried about we need to take the dog from them to give them a better life. But this particular visit, walked into the Micah Day Center and saw the puppies and thought, I just want to go say hi. I always do that and just check to make sure, do they have food, do they have water, and that the client knows that they can get that somewhere. And as I was walking towards them, a gentleman stood up and said, they need a good home. And I thought, this is the first time in my life, the first response that somebody gave me was, they need to be here. Instead it was, they need to go somewhere else. And my mind just went, oh my gosh. And so these puppies had been living in the woods and came out and had been following this particular gentleman around, but he wanted to find them a good home. So Biloxi basically is now coming home. We made arrangements. We worked with a local vet that's literally just a block and a half walking distance from here. That vet was able to get us in that same day to check what they needed, and we knew that they were underweight, underfed. There were 2 of them. The other dog is being adopted by somebody here actually at Back Bay, Lorraine. And then Biloxi's gonna come home with me. So we're now on the road to new discovery. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So I have another question, if you don't mind. So you said you've been coming here for 7 years, give or take, off and on.
Yeah.
Can you give me, what was your first impression coming from Wisconsin to the Mississippi Gulf Coast?
Right. Our first trip down, you're thinking, we're gonna go and get to, help these people, and you're chewing on my braids? Oh my gosh. And so you think that it's very much so about you just providing, that you're physically here to help do these things that need to get done. Our first visit, meeting the first day, they had a couple of the people come and talk to us, and one of the things they said was, you need to be flexible. It's all about being flexible. You may think that one day you're going to be doing this until that, and that there's this routine. And that first trip we found out right away that is not how things roll. You go, you think, we're starting this, we're going to finish this, and it's set the paintbrushes down, it's time to leave. And you're like, but I'm in the middle of painting this window. Time to leave. It's 4 o'clock. No, I gotta work until the window is done. And so it was, that first visit was an eye-opening experience of flexibility took on a whole new meaning for me in my life as well. That was my one takeaway that first time was, what you think is gonna be, isn't gonna be, and you just need to be open to saying, not just physically, but mentally, being flexible and knowing what to expect. So I think that first visit we were quite naive, because it was emotional growing, it was personal growing, it was seeing these situations and knowing, gosh, that is horrible, but now add into it this. So yeah, it was definitely an emotional thing for me, and a lot of, we keep coming back for a reason, so.
And that's the perfect segue to my last question before I let you get out of here. So if you could take us on the journey from the first visit to now, can you share something that maybe has transformed or grown or evolved within you, like you just mentioned?
Definitely the relationship. We all know that we're called to do certain things, and sometimes when we're in our regular life, you get into a routine, or you get into the, that's just the way it is, and I just, roll with it. When we come down here, for me, and I will continue to come down here, it is a very personal experience that every time I come down here, I know I'm an animal person, but I don't come home with a puppy every time. This particular time, God called me to do that, and I knew it was right. Whether I was going to take this dog home to come live with me, or I was going to take this dog home to come and share his story and give him to somebody else. It never stops. Like, Biloxi is forever in my heart, because I come down here, and every time I gain insight into the wisdom that these homeless clients can give me a new perspective, and they have wisdom and they have insight that they know it, they feel it, they live it. And it's like, if they can do that, and they can, it's Julie is one of the clients that we helped. She wasn't homeless, she had a home, and we were rehabbing her home. And she was a retired school teacher, and my mom is a retired school teacher. And to me, when we were working on Julie's house, that was my mom. We were doing my mom's house, because Julie is a mother. Julie was a grandmother. She is a grandmother. And that relationship that I had, she is a wonderful friend. We stay in touch, we stay in contact. Julie now volunteers here at Back Bay. She helped me with the puppy situation and getting them to the vet, and she had local connections that we were able to work with, and that relationship is forever. And we have clients that we've helped that we don't know how they're doing or where they are, but that person is still a part of our heart. The other story that, like for me, it's Biloxi is something I talk about, and Back Bay is something that I talk about all the time. It's always with me, because this experience moves me. But the whole, idea of, the last time 2 times ago we came, the same thing, we're working on a house, that's what that's the day's project, and all of a sudden it's Craig saying, hey, we have a situation I think you guys can handle. If you can't, you tell me no. And we literally were moving somebody that had been beat, like within an inch of her life, and she had to leave. They were putting her in a safe place, but somebody needed to go and get her personal belongings out of basically a crime scene. And so we helped her move, and so we didn't see her yet. And one of the things she wanted was her glass jar with these things in it. And so we go in, and I'm like, this is it. This is a very important piece. And it was this big glass a tower, but I mean like a large glass, but a huge, like a vase. And in it was all this metal debris. And so when we took it over to go and meet the client to bring her the personal things we had gathered, lo and behold, to her, that was something she did to ease her mind, and the stories that those treasures, she would go and look with a metal detector on the beach. And it was a way for her to distract and to think about the what ifs, or where, or who. I do that now with my family. We live on an old farm property, and we're always unearthing things. And so we have a collection that sits above our piano in our house that we put those things in, and we wonder the hows and the whys, and that's a heart thing to me. That's something that, that wisdom that was taught to me by somebody going through something, and to hear her telling us in that raw form of something so simple can make the biggest difference. And she didn't want to leave that behind. Of all of her personal goods, that was like, she could only take a few things, and to her that was a story that was someplace else for her, and it was a happy place. So I definitely, every time we come down, there's a new story, a new level, and I will continue to come down here because of it, because of the love that I see. Seeing the layers of Julie was somebody that they helped, and she now comes and she volunteers. That when you see that it's working, that these people learn to love, and they have loved, and they will love, and they need a little help. And when they get that help, they're able to help others. And then they have that empathy and that level. And I want to think that I can take that back. That when I go home, I have that empathy, I have that level now, that I get to say, what, we're all in this together. This is a community. No matter if we come to Biloxi, no matter if you're pumping gas, sometimes just a hi, can change somebody's life. And here we get to see it fast forward. We're here a week, and it's just, that's all we're doing. This is our moment to savor these relationships and to be a part of it and to grow as a person, to truly grow. And I do, and I will continue to come down, and I long for the day I can bring my children down to experience it firsthand. So